Welcome to Larp Academia, and today we're going to talk about the benefits of LARPing. I know the last 2 weeks have been a little negative with Alliance LARP disasters, and then you go into the potential hazards and cautions of LARP, but today we're going to talk about why you want to LARP, what you can get out of it, and why LARPing is good for you. Now, the benefits of LARP go into two separate categories. The first is physical. Physical should be very easy to figure out, but I'll go into a little bit more detail. And the second is social and mental, which can really help your mental state. But we will start with the physical side of LARPing. Now, the first part of the physical benefits is obviously you're going out and you're exercising. I'm moving, and you'll move at least this much, but you will end up moving a little more, especially if you are fighting in one of those LARPs. If you're in a role play LARP, then you'll still be up and you'll still be walking and talking and moving and doing things. But if you are in a physical LARP, which ends up with you moving a lot, fighting, dodging, diving, whatever else, then you will obviously get that benefit of exercise. But this exercise isn't just going to keep you fit. In fact, it's not by itself going to keep you fit. This exercise will help you in a lot of different ways. I have had people who, back when I was in high school, had friends try LARPing, and at the very end of the day, these fit individuals were extremely sore. And that's because LARPing ends up making you work these muscles that you never really worked, and after you LARP for a while, eventually it even helps your reflexes. Now, there have been common stories from other LARPers where they've been driving in their car and their drink is about to spill. We've almost all had this situation. And instead of letting it fall or just, oh no, or trying to catch it and failing it, a LARPer who has been LARPing for a while and fights a lot instantly goes and grabs it. The drink goes from being here to only tipping this much. From this side, that much. So instantly grab without even thinking about it. So it helps your reflexes a lot, and it can help you in other ways, like movement, and making your movement a little bit easier, as well as posture. So normally, for guys especially, speaking from personal experience here, our center of gravity is here, and we kind of slump a little bit. If we sit, we might sit like this, and then when we get up, it's kind of shouldered a bit like this. However, LARPing makes it so that you kind of want to be upright the entire time when you're moving and pivot using your hips as a center of gravity. This makes it so that your posture is better, which will have other health effects, and it makes it so that you're able to move aside from just using your chest, which makes it easier to move. Instead of lumbering around or just like this, making it so that you move with your hips makes it so that you are able to move more easily, freely, and you will have a lot of people every once in a while look at you and a surprise, like, wow, this guy is actually able to keep themselves well put and moves pretty well. Now, aside from just praise of your movement ability, it does help you with your coordination. For a personal story, I am pretty much the poster boy of an autistic person, or at least I was when I was a child. I had the inability to understand what people were thinking, but I also couldn't move properly. This with my fingers, I couldn't do that at all. And after 4 years of playing soccer, a stationary ball, well, in order to make that ball move, you had to kick it. What % chance do you think I had to make that ball move? It wasn't zero, I wasn't completely hopeless. Well, it was about a 50% chance. A ball that is not moving, I had a 50% chance of hitting it after 4 years of soccer. So this was pretty bad. LARPing helped me with coordination as well. So if you have a child who has a problem with their body or isn't able to fully understand how it moves, it does again help you as an adult, as we've talked about with movements and other coordinations. But for a child especially, LARPing helps you get that coordination. And if you have a child who has the same issues as I did, then I had to learn how to use my body. I had to be a bit more aware, and this will help you on the physical sense. But what about your social or mental health. How can LARP help that? Well, the first thing about LARPing is that you are doing it live. You are role-playing with other people. And in role-playing, you generally speak. You can't just mime it. That doesn't really work. So you need to be able to speak. This helps you with your communication skills. Now, we're not all the best speakers in the world, and we all can try to work on our ability to communicate. Usually in LARPing, this would start from being a little bit awkward and coming out of your shell to figuring out how to talk in character, till eventually you do get a little bit more confident. You do gain the ability to speak and adapt to quick situations, since it does help with your critical thinking. And it makes it so that you are much better socially, because you have to be. You have to be in order to LARP. So you are constantly trying to improve how you can communicate with others, and it's natural. It's not something you're always thinking about, but it naturally is occurring since you are interacting with other people. Now, of course, interacting with other people does provide benefits. When you are interacting with other LARPers, you are usually in a community, or at least a group. This means that you have other friends that you can talk to, or even if they're not friends, you have other people that you can interact with and socially lean on. You can try to get some support, whether it's in LARP or in your real life, and generally, people who you LARP with will be willing to be your friends and kind of support you in your real life. So you can talk to them and also get support for any other issues that you have going on. This does not mean that you should go to LARP and you should try to just throw all your problems at people and, whoa, it's me. No, it's just a natural part of the game. If you're having some real life issues, you can generally talk to people. If you want to converse with others, you can also get that social support so that they can help converse with you and help your mental health, since people do need to talk to others. We are social creatures. So this helps us socially in a lot of ways, but for you as a person, and for those parents out there who are thinking, should we have our child LARP aside from just exercising? LARPing does also inspire a desire to learn. Now, what do I mean by this? Obviously, every LARP has a rule book. You want to learn the rule book, great. But there's more to it. When you LARP, you're LARPing with something. You're LARPing with a sword, you're LARPing with maybe a gun, you're LARPing with a mythological character, whatever else. And in order to be better at LARPing, naturally, you want to learn more about that subject. Let's take fantasy, for example. If you want to learn more about how to defeat certain monsters, you might want to learn a little bit about mythology. Okay, you learn a little bit about mythology, and then you might want to figure out, well, how did they beat them in these mythological tales or whatever else in history. And in doing so, you start to learn a little bit more about history. And you start to learn more about how people lived back then. You start to learn more about what life was like, what weapons they used, and everything else. And then from there on, you can branch to anywhere else. You can learn more about history. You can learn about how their style of life was different from your own. You can then take an inspiration towards anything else, whether it's different cultures, the improvements in technology that have been made, or just about anything. I know that happened to me when I LARPed, played D&D, and played video games, and it has happened to others. People are generally a bit more informed about what they like doing. So LARPing does have a lot of benefits. LARPing can help you physically be more coordinated, exercise, so it can help you out. It makes it so that you have a support structure, and you have to be social with other people, which means that it will help you become more eloquent, or be better at speaking. And it also gives you the inspiration to learn. And generally you will take this in your own life, and learning is always good. Now, I hope you enjoy these positive points and the benefits of LARPing, and this is in general. Each LARP by itself may have different other positive aspects that it has. Some LARPs could make it so that you become a better crafter, so that you gain another hobby. Some LARPs make it so that you could be more informed on coding if you do a sci-fi LARP. I haven't seen many of those, but it is possible. Each LARP is unique in its own way and will provide its own separate benefits aside from these general benefits that I've given you. I hope that you love LARPing as much as I do, and I hope you enjoy all the benefits that LARPing provides. Until next time, keep LARPing.